Hello, viewers. This is somewhat of a proof of life video. I haven't recorded anything for YouTube in a cat's age, but I happen to have two large orders here from Suruga, so I figured perhaps I could entertain some of you by showing you what I've got. I don't actually even remember entirely what's in these two orders, so I can't guarantee that these are going to be the most tremendously exciting opening videos, but if you're curious about slightly more unusual anime stuff, or if you just want to spend some time hanging out with me, I invite you to share this experience. We will start with not the proper tool for the job, with this box, which I got earlier than the other one. I've been sitting on this one. It's been taking up space in my house, so I need to finally open it so I can at least get rid of the cardboard box. So let's see what's in here. Alright, we can get rid of the packing material. The invoice, we can get rid of some of the styrofoam. It might be easier for me to just pull all of this out, and then we'll take out Ziploc bags. That's unusual packaging for Japanese orders, but yeah, I suppose it'll do. All right. Crap. Okay. Alright. So, first, well, I don't know, let's see. Well, my inclination was to not bother opening up posters, but I guess these probably won't be too difficult. These are bath posters. In other words, they're printed on plastic rather than paper or cloth. They did sort of get a little squished, but that's also partially my fault for leaving them in the shipping box for so long. So let's see. This one is Made in Abyss. I can tell by looking at it. Yeah, I'll definitely have to try to flatten this out a bit, but I'm just a huge fan of Nanachi. So when this plastic poster has her dead center, I just absolutely had to have it. I don't know if I will ever actually display this anywhere. This is probably just going to be part of my collection that I will almost immediately forget that I own. But it makes me happy to know that I have it. This one, let's see, what is this one? This one also is another bath poster. This one is another poster printed on plastic. This one is difficult to unroll. Crap. This one looks like it took some damage. Yes. Well, that's unfortunate. This one has since it's plastic, it broke. And it looks like, yeah, it broke in multiple places. This, if you can tell, is a Ghost in the Shell Major and Tachikoma poster. Unfortunately, I mean, this will probably end up just being a donation or something, because, yeah, sadly, not in the greatest of shape, unfortunately. Now, on the positive side, it wasn't very expensive, because I would not have bought it if it was very expensive. Now, on the other hand, I think I did pay a little bit more for this plush Rilakuma. You can tell by my hand, he's pretty small. I think I measured him, and I thought I remembered him being a little bigger than this, but ever since the Netflix stop-motion series came out, I've really been a fan of Rilakuma. I know the Tugi anime series just started a day or two ago. I'm probably going to try to watch the first episode of that tonight. Um, on the positive side, he does have the zipper on the back. But then again, I think it probably wouldn't be Relaxuma if it didn't have the zipper on the back. It would just be a random teddy bear. But, yeah, I think I might end up having to get another one, because this one's a little bit small for my taste. I think I'd want one, maybe at least, I don't know, maybe double this size would be okay. Something like that would probably be what I'd prefer to see. So, yeah, this one's definitely a little smaller than I'd like. Unfortunately, just standard Rilakkuma plush dolls are a little bit expensive. For one thing, in May, the Mother's Day weekend on Friday and Saturday, I will have a dealer table at the Tampa Bay Screams Horror Convention in Clearwater. I know it's a horror convention, however, the dealer spaces were very, very affordable, and the location, the venue, it's nearby the Clearwater Airport. That's closer to my house than even my workplace is. So, with those two circumstances in its favor, I decided to get a couple dealer tables. So, the Tampa Bay Screams Convention, Mother's Day weekend in May, it is only Friday and Saturday. Only Friday and Saturday. But if you happen to be in the area and want to meet me or want any of the kind of stuff that I might have, feel free to come by and drop by, say hi. That is why, among other things, I picked up things like this. This is a Japanese tankobon. I believe this is from, I think this is from 1978. I think. But this is, I think I have another copy of this around someplace. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have two of these. But this is the second volume. No, this is the first volume. I have a volume 1 and a volume 2. These are Japanese translations of late Silver Age or early Bronze Age American Amazing Spider-Man comic books. So, for a Spider-Man collector, this might be kind of interesting. I got these fairly affordably, so I can afford to mark up the price a little bit, hopefully make a small profit on these if I'm able to sell them at a convention. I think that possibly my local comic store is also holding its second annual comic show early this fall. So I might ask my local comic store owner if I can get one or two tables for that show as well, and possibly sell stuff like this. So what have we got here? I have several copies of this issue of Shonen Jump, but I think this issue is really neat because it has Iñaki Godai. Am I getting that name right? Iñaki. I forgot his last name, honestly. I apologize. The live action Luffy and obviously the anime Luffy, which I think is just a really neat image, and it's on a Japanese Shonen Jump issue. So I have several of these, partially because I'd like to sell a couple of these, and also because I'm hoping that the actor will eventually come around on the convention circuit to Western Central Florida or even Mid-Central Florida, and I'll be able to get one or two of these autographed. Now, I imagine the autograph fee will probably not be cheap, but that's just the way celebrity autographs go these days, so I'm not going to complain about that. It's just the way it is. But I picked up another copy because this one, thankfully, is in really, really good shape. And I've been buying these up when they are very affordable, as in like well under $10 affordable. This one was probably somewhere around $5. So at around $5, I don't mind hoarding multiple copies. I forgot that I had bought this, but this is the first appearance of Kill Owl, AO. The anime TV series has not started yet. I believe the Kill Owl first episode should be premiering any day now. If not this week, then next week. But I know this anime adaptation is one of the Is one of the spring 2006 anime premieres. Now, this is my only copy, So I don't know yet whether I'm going to keep this one. I will probably keep it because it's my only copy right now. But when I see the anime, if I really dig it, then I'm definitely going to be happy that I own this. As I mentioned, I was going to be selling some stuff at a local convention. So when I can afford them, when I can find them cheap, I pick up some of the really affordable Japanese Spawn issues. Now, unfortunately, neither of these have the obi. However, they were really inexpensive, so I went ahead and picked them up. This one's a volume 2. This is a volume 1. I won't know if this is a first or a second or a third printing. Actually, I don't remember if this had 3 printings. I know that the Japanese volume 1 has at least 2 printings, but I won't be able to tell until I open it up and look in the indicia. Right now, I'm not concerned enough to look it up. This is the... Wow. I think possibly they sent me the wrong issue. Possibly. Actually, I'm almost pretty sure they sent me the wrong issue. Because... Yeah. I'm almost certain that I ordered another copy of the first issue of Comic Burger. The first issue of Comic Burger is the first appearance of Midnight Eye Goku, and the first appearance of Kaoru Shinkagi's Cleopatra DC. I have a copy, but my copy is a bit damaged, it's a bit dirty, so I really wanted another copy of it. This is issue 3. I don't think this is the issue that I actually ordered, so I think Mandarake, for example, is flawless about packaging, about delivery. They are just utter perfection when it comes to mail order. Suruga-ya is not. However, in most cases, the effort and the time and the trouble to complain is just not worth the effort, especially for the costs involved. This, regardless, was really cheap. It's just not worth, for the amount of money that I paid out, it's just not worth my trouble to try and complain about this or return it or get it refunded. I'll just throw it in my collection, but I'm almost certain this is not the issue that I ordered. So that's a little unfortunate because I really have liked to have gotten another issue 1. I think this is the first appearance of Ao no Hako, or Blue Box. This was a romance sports anime. Maybe three TV seasons ago. I want to say it was not quite a full year ago. It's not one of the shows I watched. I watched the first episode and thought it was okay, but it didn't really grab my interest, so I didn't continue watching it. So that's why I only own 1 copy of this. So this one I will probably keep in my permanent collection. I think possibly a second season has been announced, but I'm not positive about that. I don't remember for certain. There are, how many of these do we have here? 1, 2, I mentioned that I do pick up some Japanese copies of American things. Here are 3 of the late 70s Japanese Superman comics. When these are available from Japanese mail order, they're generally very, very affordable. In America, they're typically about $40 a piece. Now, I only sell them at about half that. I actually only ask for about $20 a piece, which is still a decent profit for me and a good deal for the buyer, I think. So that's why I'm happy to pick these up when I can. Unfortunately, they don't come into stock all that often. They're not always easy to come by. I don't think I have this Project Echo Shikajiki. Project Echo is one of my favorite shows. It's one of the shows I got into back in the late 80s when I started watching Japanese language anime. I don't remember what I paid for this. I paid a little bit more than I typically pay for a Shikajiki, But given what this is, I do collect Project A merchandise, not as extensively as I do, for example, Ixler 1 or Gal Force or Bubblegum Crisis, or especially Dirty Pair, but I do collect Project A stuff, so I'm happy to add this to the collection. Oh, apparently I have 2 copies, so I probably will put one up for sale. And interesting that the back of the issue has a advertisement for One Piece advertising McDonald's. So, I mentioned that Mandarake is really, really reliable when it comes to things like packaging. Suruga is not as bad as they used to be, but you can see things like this. A wall scroll sticking out of the box. This is how the box arrived to me. So Suruga has never been super reliable about durable, safe packaging. They're better than they used to be, but as you can see. Now, I know that there are a number of wall scrolls in here, tapestries as they're called in Japan. I don't think I will go through the effort of unrolling them on camera, so I apologize in advance. But, as I mentioned, this is just going to be an informal sort of passing the time video. So I hope you'll forgive me. Also, I probably shouldn't need to mention this, but my YouTube videos are not monetized. I do not get any profit from this whatsoever. I do not do this for fame or acclaim or money. I just do this because it's amusing. Hopefully it's fun. Hopefully you, the viewer, find this a little bit entertaining and enjoyable. So hopefully that makes this effort somewhat worthwhile. Oh, alright. You remember I mentioned that I had forgotten everything that I had purchased? And you remember I mentioned that I would kind of like a larger Rilakkuma? Well, apparently, my wish is granted. I do have a larger Rilakkuma. And Pyoko? It's not Pyoko. I forgot what his name is now. His name on... No, his name's not on it. Now that I see these, I remember. These are considered the medium size standard Rilakkuma plush dolls. I do not have the Ko Rilakkuma, so I need to get him, the third one. Actually, there are 4. There are 3 bears now, but I'm not familiar with the third one. I'm only familiar with Rilakkuma and Ko Rilakkuma, so those are the 2 that I really want. But the matching, in the set, the matching Ko Rilakkuma was sold out. So I'm keeping an eye out. The next time he comes in stock, I will order him. So I have all 3 of them. And he does have the iconic zipper on the back. So, alright, so yeah, I'm very pleased to have these. I think I have multiple copies of this issue of Shonen Jump. This is the October 2007 issue. I bought this one to take to 1 or 2 conventions to possibly try and put up for sale. This issue is the first appearance of Perona, the gothic ghost girl in One Piece. I really dig the character. I don't know how many other people, especially in the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater area, I don't know how many other people here will be familiar with her or will want to owe her first appearance. But thankfully, this was pretty inexpensive, so I will offer that up and see how it goes. Again, because I was going to conventions, I bought this to take to a convention. This is a starter deck of Japanese Wizards of the Coast Final Fantasy VII Remake Magic the Gathering cards. I have no idea if these are valuable or not. I'm guessing, considering that this looks to be still brand new and unopened, I'm guessing that these are probably not super valuable because these were pretty inexpensive. I'm sure I can look on eBay and see what these go for. I don't know. I just happened to see it when I was scrolling through the listings, and I thought, well, that's affordable. That might be interesting. I'll throw that in my shopping cart and buy it. And if I take it to a show, perhaps I'll be able to make a couple dollars off it. You know, once again, I don't frequently go to conventions as a dealer, but when I do, I don't aim for massive profits. As I said, I'm not making any profit off this video. I really mainly sell at conventions more for the fun of it than for the money, so I'm not concerned about making a huge profit. I'm just trying to avoid losing money on the outings. Let's see, what is this? Okay, I wasn't 100% certain what this was, but I wanted it regardless. I think, let me see, am I correct? Let me peel this sticker off. Hopefully this sticker will come off cleanly. Looks like it will. Yes. This, if you can tell, this is an unopened pack of 1998 Tokyo Game Show promotional trading cards for the PlayStation. Yes, this would have been for the PlayStation interactive anime movie game Dancing Blade. Any of you, if you are familiar with me, will know that I have been a fan of Dancing Blade since the 90s, since the early 2000s. I remember when the game came out. I actually did play the game on the PlayStation. A lot of people don't know that that was actually Kyoto Animation anime footage that was in the original two Dancing Blade games. So I am a big fan of Dancing Blade. I do collect as much Dancing Blade merchandise as I can get, which is fortunate because there's not a huge amount of it, but I do in my collection have Dancing Blade figures. I have multiple Dancing Blade posters. I have the Dancing Blade manga. I have an almost complete set of the trading stickers. I do have a complete set of these trading cards. Actually, they are right here. These are the Tokyo Game Show trading cards. They make up a single 9-card image. So I think that's what this is. I think this is a sealed pack of these. I recently discovered that Suruga carries some of the American English language, well, American is kind of a stretch, some of the official English language Kinokuniya Toys Press 5-star stories translations. Now, I own most of these. These are volumes 2, 3, 4, 5. These are... Suruga only lists volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Their issue 1 was sold out. So I did pick up the 2, 3, 4, 5. These are duplicates. I have a couple copies already of each of these because I did buy these from Kinokuniya back when they were originally released. Actually, I have in my collection the preview edition of Volume 1 and the regular retail edition of Volume 1. The preview edition of Volume 1 has a black border around the entire front cover. The regular retail edition is like this, except it just has a Roman numeral 1 down there. Now, I believe there are actually 2 variations of the cover for Volume 1, and I think I have both of them, plus the preview edition. But, for those of you who are manga collectors who may not be aware, Toys Press and Kinokuniya published somewhere around 21. It may be anywhere up to 23, 22, 23, 21. Something like that. Low 20s. They published English language collections of 5-star stories. These volumes, these have an $8.98 cover price. Back in the day when these were released, that was really expensive. These were the equivalent of like, this would be the equivalent today of like $20 a piece at retail price, at cover price. That's how much they felt like they cost back then. They were really expensive. $8.98 was a lot of more money back in the early 2000s when these were originally released. However, they are very scarce. Unfortunately, I only own about the first 12 or 13 or 14 of them or so, because they got so scarce that I simply could never find the very final volumes. The final ones are very, very, very scarce. They're kind of expensive. The high number ones, the ones up in the high teens and the 20s, are well over $100 a piece, if you can find them at all. But, as I mentioned, I like hoarding, so because I was able to get these at a really affordable price, I just like hoarding, so I picked up these because they were available to me. And is that it? This is a tapestry. Apologies that I'm not going to open it. Perhaps you can get some sense of what it looks like. It's a girl in lingerie. No nudity. Suruga typically does not do adult material anymore. There is one of the Suruga-ya stores in Akihabara still does carry adult merchandise, or well, adult books. But most of the Suruga stores do not carry adult merchandise anymore. So it's a little risque, but it is technically clean. And it was very affordable. This wall scroll has a 3,100 has a 3,100 yen price tag on it. I'm sure I paid nowhere near that amount. I honestly don't even remember what this is. And well, you know what? It's probably not too difficult to open it up. So let's see. What is this? What is it that I bought that I completely forgot about? Yeah, okay. A little bit risque, but, you know, technically there's no nudity on it. Right? Yeah, technically there's no nudity on it. This was really cheap. This was, it was probably like $5 or something like that. This is obviously a Japanese doujinshi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a doujin wall scroll, as in not produced by a commercial manufacturer. This was fan produced. Well, I'll put it back in the package later. Alright, let's see. What is this one? Maybe I will open these after all, because at least the wall stores are not too terribly difficult to get open. Alright, let's see here if I can get the... there we go. Alright, yeah, once again, technically no nudity. Sex Life, I don't know if this is a PC game. I don't know if it's a doujinshi or a light novel. It was obviously sexy, it was attractive, it was very, very affordable. Again, I'm pretty sure I paid under like $10 for these wall scrolls, for these tapestries. That's the reason I bought them, because they were very, very affordable. They were attractive. Um, it, Japan prices on cloth are very strange. Clothing in Japan, like anime t-shirts, are very, very expensive. A lot of the times, dakimakura, like hug pillow covers, frequently are very, very expensive. Bed sheets, however, are frequently very, very cheap. Tapestries run the gamut from very, very cheap to very, very expensive. Very strange. Um, this is, let's see, what is this? Is this a... This is probably a plastic... No, this feels like it's printed on heavy paper. Glossy paper? Yeah, this is... Whatever this is, it's printed on glossy paper. Okay. To be honest, I thought that when I bought this, I thought that this was a cloth scroll. So I wonder if I was either mistaken or if they sent me the wrong thing. Once again, I'm not sure. Either way, because I'm not sure I would consciously have bought. I mean, it's metallic inks, so it's nice, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So I don't know why I would have bought this. So I don't know if I mistakenly bought the paper version instead of the cloth tapestry version, or if Suruga sent me the wrong item again. So that is something I will investigate. And the next to last item. What is... Okay, I'm going to say that they definitely sent me the wrong item, because I don't even know what this is. This is some kind of acrylic keychain. If you'll indulge me, girls band cry. This is a Tomo from Girls Band Cry acrylic keychain. I did not watch more than the first episode of Girls Band Cry. I know that it's very popular. I know that it is praised. I did not watch it. I don't know these characters. There is, I'm sure, zero possibility that I would have ordered this. So I doubt that they threw this in there by accident. I mean, I doubt that this was a freebie. I imagine they probably sent this instead of something that I ordered. So I'm going to have to look up the order and figure out what they left out and what they sent this in place of. So I'm tentatively a little frustrated because, yeah, I did not order this. I did order this, however. This is I believe this is printed on plastic. I think this is a Coffee 100 promotional poster. I believe there are a series of these posters. I just know that this one was really attractive and it was really, really cheap. So I picked this up just because I just happen to like the image. So that is the extent of the Suruga orders. So if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to send them my way. I don't get monetized, so honestly, no offense to anyone, but I do not care if you like or dislike or subscribe to my channel. I do have a handful of subscribers. I don't know who they are. I don't know why people subscribe to my channel when I put up videos so infrequently. But if you're still watching, I do appreciate your patronage, and I hope that I've kept you entertained for a while. So until the next time, whenever that is, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.